but yeah, it's just, just collaborating and staying, like keeping that music energy always around me has been really important to me, like just for my own, like always keeping me on the right path. And like I
Yeah.
said, collaborating and stuff has been really fun. Yeah, I've been doing that. And I've got some new music that I'm trying to finish up as well. I released this Billie Eilish, Everything I Wanted. I just put that on Spotify, just my version, my rendition. I love the
Hmm.
song. I always try to put a couple covers on my music, on my albums, but that's one of the
Sure.
songs that I just released probably, I think, last week, and that came out really well. I was really happy with the way that it was, came out production wise and
Hmm.
everything.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to a new episode of Set Listing Bruce, your podcast all about Bruce Springsteen, his music, and mostly his fans. I am your host, Jesse Jackson. We are jumping off the Bruce bandwagon, but we're staying in the musical train, and we're having return guest Raquel Aurilia joining me. You were back April of 2020. You joined
Mhm.
me, so it has been a while. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I know I can't believe how fast it's passed by.
Yeah, it
It's
is.
wild.
So tell, for those of you who did not get to hear the earlier episode, tell us a little about yourself.
Well, my name, as you said, is Raquel Aurilia. I am a singer-songwriter. I live in Phoenix, Arizona, and I travel back and forth a lot to Nashville. And I was before COVID, so now I'm going to start doing that again. But yeah, so I write mainly adult contemporary, a little bit of country crossover. I kind of delve into all genres when I can. I just recently collaborated with two different artists for hip hop tracks and did the chorus and the hook for them.
Oh, how
And it's
fun.
super fun. Yeah, I love, absolutely love doing that because it gives me a lot of freedom to just be creative in a totally different way.
Hmm.
So that's fun. And but yeah, that's mainly what I do. I've been writing and singing music for like 15 years. I've been doing music. I've been writing for probably about 10 of those 15 years.
Yeah, and we were saying right before we hit recorded, right now your other full-time job is being a golf mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, so both your boys are playing, high competitive golf, and so it sounds like they're both doing well.
Yes. Yeah. I love watching. It's I never get tired of watching. It's actually so super fun for me. But like I was telling you earlier, we just got back from a 2 week trip of two different tournaments with my youngest, Gavin, who's going to USC in the fall. And then my oldest, Chaz, he's going to U of A in the fall. So that's coming up like in August. But yeah, when I'm not doing music, I'm on the golf course somewhere, watching tournaments, watching them play.
That sounds awesome. Do you play
Yeah.
yourself?
Not really. I used to play, but I definitely need some lessons, and it's going to
Mhm.
take a while to it's going to take a while to get me back in
So
golf.
how did your boys and kind of, and if you don't want to talk about this or not, but
Oh no, it's
how
fine.
did your boys find this niche that they were good at that?
Well, a lot. It's gosh, years ago. I think they were 7 and 9. My ex-husband and I joined a country club down the street,
Okay.
and they started playing. And before you know it, they just would go every single day and just fell in love with it. And then before you know it, they said, "Can we play in tournaments?" And I said, "I don't know. Can you? Like, are
Yeah.
you? I don't even know if you know how. Like, let's try it." So that was kind of the beginning for them, and I'll never forget it. At 7 and 9 was their first big, U.S. kids junior world tournament that they
Right.
played in, and it was fun. It was really fun to go watch them and see. But they're out there every day, rain or shine. 115-degree weather out here, they don't care, and they've been doing that since they were 7 and 9. So they've just gotten so good at it.
That's awesome. That's such a great
Mhm.
story because
Yeah.
you hear a lot about, and you see, people playing baseball and and soccer and football and everything. And so to hear golf is just kind of nice. And there is a really competitive golf environment out there. I know for
Oh
high
yeah.
school and certain colleges. So well
Hmm.
done. That's good.
Thank you. Yeah, I enjoy it, and it's really, really competitive out here. A lot of these golfers that I've watched them grow up with, most of them have gone Division 1 as well, which is great. And
Hmm.
it's just fun watching them all compete and play together, and now be, at this age now going off to college. It's crazy,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's very competitive.
Good. So, how have you been doing during this time of COVID with the pandemic? How are things gone?
I stayed really busy, which was great for my mental psyche. Like I
Yeah.
feel like, sorry, my voice is a little hoarse today. Thank God I don't have to sing tonight, or I'd be in trouble. But
Yeah.
I, I stayed busy. I did a lot of charity events. I met some people from Brevard Capital. His name was Val Nietzsche. I can never pronounce his name right. And he's amazing, and his whole crew there. They started doing all these amazing charity events during COVID, from like April through, I mean, all the way through like July or August of last year, all when we were in lockdown. And so we
Hmm.
started doing events, and I started getting involved, and I started getting all their musicians together for them, and just really taking an active role where I loved what they were doing, loved the
Hmm.
causes, because everything was different. Like the first time they did their charity event was for, they were raising money for masks, and then the second time it was the Andrea Bocelli Foundation. They did some stuff to raise money for some schools, the different schools all over. And then one was for Black Lives Matter, where they were giving scholarships to different students that had applied, and giving back. So it's just giving back the entire time. It just felt good to be a part of something
Sure.
that was, making a difference. And they so selfless. They spent hours doing these events, these charity events, and like I said, I got all the musicians together for it, and started our little family of people together. And they're still doing a lot of events, and hopefully now that we're doing live events, hopefully now these events will be live. But our last big one was with the Andrea Bocelli Foundation, and they did very well. So I've been doing that. I've been recording. I've been collaborating. What else? I don't know if you know about Clubhouse. Radio Clubhouse is on Clubhouse, the new app Clubhouse. That's
Okay. Tell
another
me a
thing I
little
got.
about it.
Well, I got really involved in Clubhouse. A friend, it's like an invite only kind of thing that everyone had been telling me about it. And because everybody was on such downtime, not going out and everything else, it was like, it's hard to explain what Clubhouse is, but within Clubhouse, there's several different, there's entertainment, there's music, there's poets, there's meditation, there's,
Hmm.
cryptocurrency, you name it. There's
Wow.
all these different little worlds within the big world of Clubhouse, right? So you go on and you set up your bio, and it's only through the phone. So I've never met these people. I've only talked to them through our phone, and we all have our little pictures there. It's just, and you go in these groups, in these rooms. But through this, I met a group called Radio Clubhouse, and
Okay.
a gentleman named Dante Hawkins was running this specific station. Yeah, so I literally just got involved with them, and he started running this group where they play he plays music, and he was tireless. Like I was like, you've got to start resting, because this poor man was on hours and hours and hours, like all night, making sure everybody's music got played, and just really a positive vibe and a really good family of people. So that's
Yeah.
become my new family. And
Wow.
I'll be honest, like I spend, I think, almost, well, before my trip, out every single night, I go into Radio Clubhouse, and I show my support, and I listen to other musicians, and we give feedback on our songs. And I've discovered some amazing musicians from this room that are untapped and undiscovered, that need to get
Hmm.
out there. And he's been helping get everybody um, out. You know what I mean? He's been helping everybody get their music out. So I've been doing a lot of the Radio Clubhouse, like networking, and yeah, just collaborating and doing as much as I can.
That sounds fascinating, and
Hmm.
it sounds like you've been able to kind of stay busy and still like you've been able to help people, but also exercise your creative bones.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's been fun for me because, like I said, just staying busy and not being able to go out and perform has been really hard for me. But just being able to collaborate. I've collaborated with two different artists from that room so far.
Yeah.
One song's called Hit the Road. That should be coming out pretty, we're trying to, there's one last thing we have to do legally, like, paperwork wise. That's coming out. And so,
Hmm.
but yeah, it's just, just collaborating and staying, like keeping that music energy always around me, has been really, important to me, like just for my own, like always keeping me on the right path. And like I
Yeah.
said, collaborating and stuff has been really fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been doing that, and I've got some new music that I'm trying to finish up as well. I released this Billie Eilish "Everything I Wanted." I just put that on Spotify, just my version, my rendition. I love the
Hmm.
song. I always try to put a couple covers on my music, on my albums, but that's one of the
Sure.
songs that I just released, probably I think last week, and that came out really well. I was really happy with the way that it was, came out production wise and
Hmm.
everything. So that's out. We did a video. Let's see, I did a video. We've done two videos on the new video called Everything, Not
Okay.
Everything I Wanted. That's going to be done. We're just editing, final edits, probably this week, which
Okay.
probably means like in about a week or two we'll release it. Trying to get a little space between the last one because we just released There's Still Time. So that went out.
Yeah. So talk to me about
Yeah.
there's still time.
And well, it's a song that I wrote. Gosh, I wrote it a while back, and I never did anything to promote it. It was just one of those songs. It's like a kind of like a sleeper. It wrote itself, really. It was. I was watching. It's crazy. The story behind it. I kind of left it universal so people could interpret what they wanted from the song. The reason I thought I was writing it was because I was watching. I was watching. This is crazy, but I was watching Dr. Drew,
Okay.
the Celebrity Rehab,
Sure.
and I was watching all these sad stories of these people. And this one guy went home and was just got his act together. It hit rock bottom. Life fell apart. He hurt so many people, and then at the very end of it all, he went home to an empty house, and nobody was there. No one was there
Hmm.
to be with him or to be there for him. And like this, just I just got this like, oh, how awful that, he just wanted somebody to stay there with him and stay with him and be there, because now that he's a new person, he's starting over. And while I was writing that, I feel like I was also kind of delving into some personal things in my own life that kind of maybe helped me write the song unknowingly, like just subconsciously. It just wrote so easily. But I left it that way because a lot of people that hear the song, they interpret it from a perspective of a relationship that maybe had gone wrong, or like somebody messed everything
Yeah.
up and really hit rock bottom in the relationship, and that person's no longer the same person. But now that they are a changed person, I left it saying there's still time. Like there's still time to fix things. There's still time to show the person that you're different, to show somebody that you've changed. So I wanted
Yeah.
that message to be there, and we wrote it very hauntingly with the strings, and it's sad and it's very raw. So people that hear it, I hope the feedback has been good. So, but I hope people, when they hear it, they can feel it, because it is a very raw song about just raw emotions about somebody that's just really just fallen out, like hit, and living in a shell called me. Like that's, trying to break out and see the things I've left behind, they're still there to find. It's like that whole, just wanting to start over, getting a fresh start, wanting a new time in your life to redo something, or like a second chance. So,
And it actually has, you can certainly make a double meaning with we've
mm-hmm.
all over this past year and a half have been kind of in our own shell of
Yeah.
self-isolation or with your family. And
Mm-hmm.
so there's that added layer to the song
Yeah.
that
Yeah, for
we're feeling,
sure.
and that's good.
Yeah.
Um, so uh, do you have a live gig planned? I know we're opening up. Do you have a show scheduled yet, or are you still working on that?
I'm actually in the process of trying to find a booking agent right now.
Okay.
So I've worked with a few people. I've always kept my team kind of small,
Right.
and I've only worked with like two people really at a time when I do work with them. And sometimes I just get lucky. Sometimes I'll get a gig from a gig. So a lot of my
Yeah.
bookings have been because I was just in the right place at the right time. And so I don't really have a booking agent now, but now that things are opening up, I'm going to start looking for a
Okay.
booking agent. But my next thing that I'm planning to do, is to go to Nashville and do a couple gigs while I'm there and do some writing and
Hmm.
maybe piggyback the two, even if it's just a singer-songwriter round, just to get back out and performing. I want to do that probably either September, most likely mid-September is what I'm looking for.
Okay.
So I'll do that. That's what I'm planning, and then I'm obviously looking for other gigs to get back on the road with.
Yeah.
Maybe see if I can't find a good opportunity.
Do you, wh- I'll ask you to kind of speculate, Raquel. How do you think you're going to feel that first time in front of an audience after being away so long and after everything that we've gone through?
It'll feel weird, I think, in the beginning. Like it'll feel like foreign in a way, but at
Hmm.
the same time, I've been performing on Zoom, which is really hard.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to not have an audience like interaction, and you don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I can see people and see, but I really can't. Like, it's not the way you want it to be projected. Like, obviously, it's the visual is fine for the most part, but the audio in it's not meant for singing. You know what I mean? It's meant for meetings and
Yeah.
stuff. So it's been hard to like let go of that part of me, that perfectionist part, that okay, this is
Yeah.
going to sound a certain way, fine, it is what it is. So I've been getting, me performing a lot on Zoom has helped me, and what's there's a couple of other ones I've performed on as well, or even like interview, like Instagram Live, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it's helped me. I think I hope it's going to help me, I should say, when I go live again, so I won't be as like as it won't be as foreign, I should say. Like
Yeah.
it'll still feel familiar because I've been doing it at a harder place, like
Sure.
online. So I think live is going to feel great because I'm going to have that interaction that I can actually like engage with people and see their reaction and touch them and um, in a different way, like live,
Yeah. I can. I've talked about that. I think that the first time, I go to a live show, I think there is a good chance I'm going to be a little overwhelmed with emotion. The
Yeah, for
idea
sure.
that we've gone this year and a half and here we are in a
Hmm.
room, with other fans and
Yeah.
listening to someone perform.
Yep.
Um, because I know, like, when we went to a restaurant that after being so long we hadn't, there was just this sense of
Hmm.
joy that we're out, we're here,
Yeah.
things are slowly getting back to normal.
Hmm. Yeah, I think that's going to be, I mean, and I haven't gone to a concert yet, but an actual big concert, but I did go see, one of my friends started performing here. He's somebody that did a lot of the charity events with me as well.
Yeah.
And I did start going to watch him when we were able to get out again. I
Yeah.
just needed to get out and hear live music. So
Sure.
I have gone to hear him a couple times, and it just felt like, this feels amazing to just
Yeah.
be sitting here and this place and hearing beautiful music, and especially if it was because it was a friend of mine, and we've done shows together before, but just to hear him perform and just to have that feeling like, okay, we're starting to come back to normal again, was like you said, it's an overwhelming feeling. And even on a smaller scale like that, just in a smaller bar,
Yeah.
like restaurant bar, whatever. But to go to a big concert, it's definitely going to be really, really fun.
Well, and I think, it must have felt good to to be back at tournaments with your sons
Oh
and to see
yeah.
a little bit of normal. I mean, was there a little bit of a audience? I mean, did they was a gallery, so it
Mhm.
felt a little bit like more normal?
Well, with golf, the crazy thing with golf is it's never really shut down, because even here in Arizona, it was one of the things that remained open the entire pandemic. Because with golf, it's a social distancing sport anyway.
Yeah,
And then when
exactly.
you're
Good point.
walking, yeah, and then what they did is they kept the flags in, so then they're not touching. If their ball goes in, they get their own ball out
Okay.
with their glove on, right? Because they have a glove.
Right.
So they never really had to remove the flag and touch things people were touching, and you can social distance. So it was one thing that I did allow my boys to continue doing because I knew it was a social distancing thing.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
and it was, to be honest, I think it saved a lot of these teenagers, and like from falling into like a depression, because that's not normal
Yeah,
for them to
sure.
not be able to go out, It's it was, as imagine as I mean, as adults we had a hard time, but as teenagers and the younger kids, it just was so hard on them.
It
So
really was, wasn't it?
yeah, it's
It just,
awful.
yeah, it is, and we've all kind of, we've all kind of been able to, struggle with that, and
Yeah.
and 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 kind of go with finding our own way.
Hmm.
Um, do do you think this time, you know, has changed you as an artist, like musically? I mean, we all, everything
Hmm.
in life faces us, but do you think, in it, can you articulate, if you can, how this kind of isolation and this time doing a lot of charity work and doing, stuff on Zoom has changed you as an artist?
I feel like, well, it's made me more appreciative of the little things. And I think it's allowed me the time to sit here and be grateful that, okay, wow, I've got my health, I've got my family, I've got this extra time that I would have never had or taken had I not been with had we not it forced the entire world to stop and do whatever
Right.
they were doing, whether you were a doctor or a dentist or whatever you were doing. If those times when you're way too busy to go to lunch with your family or to watch TV or watch a movie with someone, it forced everyone to slow down. And now you have that time that we all claim we never have, right? We're always like, oh, I'm so
Yeah.
busy. But as an artist, I feel like it gave me more to reflect on, to like delve into, like I said, like with Radio Clubhouse, meeting an
Yeah.
entirely new group of people, and most of them do hip hop. Like
Yeah.
I'm not all of them, but 80% of that audience does hip hop music, which I love too. I mean, I love all genres, but it's opened up an entirely different world to me, and I've embraced all of it. And like I said, I've made family out of strangers that I've never even met, have become, family to me. Like these people are like my family. I'm gonna spend every night with these people on.
Sure.
I'd get on the phone at night at, like, like even tonight when we're done, I'll get on there and spend like an hour or so with them. And so as an artist, it's helped me um, really stay focused on my craft, and really, like, the extra time I have had, it's been all of my energy has been into music, like since the pandemic. Whereas maybe before I was too busy running around or finding excuses why I couldn't write, or like, too busy to do that or that. But it's really helped me to focus on that, and just continue to promote and promote and promote, and stay relevant in this crazy world when things are getting so out there. Like, I wrote a song with Cam Carter called "Reaching Out for You," and it's a hip hop song as well. And I
Yeah.
wrote I wrote the chorus, the hook they call it, and it was about the pandemic. It was about what was happening, and the whole thing that we talked about when we met, and we've never met, but we did this great song together. But it was about the pandemic and how, like, never in a million years would we think we'd be in this situation. And that's why
Absolutely.
that's why the chorus, when we wrote it, I literally say, when I was young, I never dreamed I'd see a world so lost, not how it used to be. It's true, it's got me reaching out for you. So it's in this time of craziness, and he raps about, being 6 feet apart and all these things that are going on in the news. um, but it was in this time where we reach out for something familiar. Right now we're reaching out for each other, or old friends, or like our family. We're finally getting together and really forcing each other to, in a good way. So I think I found like some really good things from this, from a bad time. I've actually tried to stay very optimistic in my views of how I view everything. You know what I mean?
I
So.
I I think so. And one of the things that my wife says about me is that during stressful times, I tend to podcast more. It's like
Hmm.
that's a relief for me, that
Yeah.
creative outlook. And I know that, especially during last year, from, like, middle of March to end of May, when we were locked down, that I was working from home,
Hmm.
I was podcasting a lot more, just
Right.
because I needed that connectivity.
Yeah.
And I have been, now then, for over a year, pretty
Mm-hmm.
consistent doing at least 2 episodes a week, 2 new episodes a
Right.
week. And I do agree with you. That's my way of reaching out and
Mm-hmm.
and and finding a connection.
Yeah, for sure.
And the same way you talk about Clubhouse, that's how the podcast is to me. I feel
Mm-hmm.
like there's an extended family of listeners, and my guests become part of that family, and being able to share like you've been on
Mm-hmm.
before, and I'm thrilled to have you on again so we can talk
Thank
about
you.
what's changed in your life and what you've
Mm-hmm.
done and what new beauty you're bringing out there is just very rewarding for me as a host, and I hope for my audience.
Thank you. No, yeah, it has. I think if we in the beginning, I felt like we were all kind of like, "Oh, what do we do?" And you feel like, oh, now that, because I remember think about all the times we said, if I only had more time in a day.
Right.
Yes, like sometimes it's the opposite, like you didn't get anything done because you had so much time that you didn't
Yes.
get anything done. And I felt like it was like one of those things where, like in the beginning, I couldn't sleep at all. I was up till like 3 and 4 in the morning, like this is crazy because the days were so long. But
Yes.
yeah, I feel like I think it's all in how you look at things, and I felt like I really did embrace that the gratefulness of having that extra time with my family, the one-on-one, like and my family and I would Zoom at night too, like my aunts and cousins and my sister, we would all get on the phone and on Zoom, and we would do theme nights. Like we did like a Kentucky Derby night where we all dressed up in like big hats
Oh,
and
how
like yeah,
wonderful.
and my aunt had this little old fashioned like little horse racing machine when we were all betting on it. It's just silly stuff. And we dressed up, of course, from the waist up, right?
Right.
Because you can be in your pajamas if you want. But we would make a theme, like, and then one night was game night for something else. But just trying to like keep your brain going, keep your minds working, so that you didn't fall victim to being depressed or just falling into that little rabbit hole that is very easily many people did, unfortunately.
I've shared this a couple of times on the podcast, but hope I apologize, listeners, if you're bored hearing the story, but I know Raquel hasn't. Um, One positive side of the pandemic is in the past, I used Skype to
Mm-hmm.
record my podcast, and I would often get guests. I don't understand what Skype is. What do you mean I have to download something?
Yeah.
How does this work? You know, um, Trying to get a phone number. At this point, 99% of people recognize Zoom. Like
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
went out, got a Zoom account,
Yep.
and because now then you mentioned your aunts, like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, we know how to Zoom now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that has been a small kind of blessing
Mm-hmm.
that now then I have there. I mean, in fact, when guests reach out to me, they go, "Oh, are we going to do this via Zoom or
Yeah.
some other way?" And so it
Mm-hmm.
is eased communication about
Mm-hmm.
getting guests out. Everyone understands that, and it just makes it so much easier.
I know when you said Zoom at first, when I saw it, I was like, oh, I was like, oh, cool, because at first I wasn't sure if it was going to be on the phone,
Yeah,
and then I was like, I didn't know if you were airing it video or just
yeah.
audio, but
Yeah, we're just going to do
yeah,
audio. I mean, every once in
perfect,
a while, I'll have someone who says, "Oh yeah, go ahead, Jesse. You can, post the video,"
yeah,
and I
yeah,
put it on YouTube, and
yeah.
I get like 5 views. I mean, I don't have a big YouTube channel,
Yeah, yeah.
so
I don't mind either way, whatever you
okay.
decide.
Oh well,
I
thank
do
you.
I do a lot like if you have footage, I'll also, make sure I share with everybody either way. But yeah, I it's funny because it's nice too that you can have a visual when you talk to people beyond the phone, which is,
Yes.
which is nice as well.
It is very nice, and so it and even if and a lot of like I said, mostly I do audio, but it does help to make a connection that you're seeing
Hmm.
me and I'm seeing you,
Yeah.
and every once in a while I have show and tell. I'll have a guest
Hmm.
pick up something and they'll show me something, and we'll like, oh, my listening audience is bored,
Hmm.
but we're entertaining
Yeah.
ourselves.
Yeah. Oh no,
Uh-huh.
it's I think
Yeah.
it's great. I mean, and like it's changed, like you said, it's changed the world. We've become we've learned how to do things that it's forced us to learn how to, like you said, to Zoom. Our families had to learn how to Zoom. if you want to communicate, it's,
Yeah.
before my, like, especially like my aunts and uncles would have never known how to Zoom.
Oh no.
So now it's like it's forced everybody to work from home, and now they know that it can be done. It's forced us to like learn how to record from home. Like that's one thing it did also force me to do, was learn how to like even do GarageBand, which is GarageBand isn't that difficult to learn, but if you've never been on that side of the like recording, I've always just gone into a studio and I sing, right? I leave the professional
Yes.
editing to the professionals, right? So like it forced me to basically, if you saw my room, it I have a corner of my room that became my little like recording area. So like in all of my videos, you could see the same background, but that's where that was my home to do videos and interviews, and then I would go record in my closet, which is funny, but that's the best acoustics, right? So you just do what you have to do. And
Hmm.
I would record my video, my audio, and in on GarageBand in my closet, made a filter. Like my guitar players, like, do this, put a hose over this, and making a filter at the time because nothing was open. Make a filter to put over your mic. I got a really nice mic. I got some nice headphones. I don't have them in now, but I got these really cool
Yeah.
headphones for recording, and taught myself how to record from home. And then I would send it to him, and then he'd throw it into Pro Tools for mixing.
Right.
But it's like you find a way to get things done. You just do, or you sit back and you do nothing. So it forced me to do that, which to me was kind of cool to like learn how to do that and know that, okay, well, if I want to sing something now, I know how to go in there and at least learn how to do that. I didn't take on the Pro Tools because that's a whole other story, but I did take on GarageBand, which at least I can at least transfer over to Pro Tools if we had to. But
Well,
yeah.
and yeah, and I think that's interesting that
Mhm.
you're stretching yourself as an artist, but also on the um, producer side.
Yeah.
Not only the artistic and creative side, but the behind the scenes side,
Yeah.
and where you're learning and expanding. That's kind of cool.
Mhm. It's fun because I've talked to people in your situation with podcasts and things like
Yeah.
that, and people that have had big studios that are now in their home, and they've had
Yes.
to do the same thing. Like, uh, um, I talked to this one lady, we did a great interview as well, and she was telling me how her big, huge studio is now one room, and now she's learned how to do all these things. And but yeah, you learn how to do things, and I still leave the mixing and all that, of course, to the experts, but I'm saying just to
Right.
at least record and know that I can record something feels good to know that I can still do it from home. But yeah, it literally my whole room was I say was because I just recently put most of it away because things are opening again. But like
Sure.
I had like a table in there and I did all the events from this one spot. So yeah, it's cool, you know.
That is very cool. Yeah. So you talked a little bit. You've got a couple of collaborations with some hip hop. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Well, one of the songs, well, this girl, her name is, she goes by Eye Candy, which I love her name. It's hilarious. She does some
Yeah.
great, great music. And I love the way she, the way she performs. She's fearless. She's, unedited, unfiltered. She just says what's on her mind, which I absolutely admire about her. And she reached out through the radio clubhouse and said, let's do something. And I
Hmm.
thought, you know what, let's do something. So she sent over some music that she was working on, and I thought it was really, really cool. So it's very catchy. And next thing you know, we did this really cool song called Hit the Road, which I think is going to be really cool because once it comes out, I think it'll be a fun TikTok like
Yeah.
movement because it's basically saying hit the road, Jack, right? It's like a song that like if you obviously the title says it all, but like that's going to be a fun little like meme for people to like use in their videos and for fun stuff. But so that was one of them, and then the other song with the hip hop track, like I said, that was a guy named Cam Carter, and we literally have never met, but we've talked a million times, and we've met through. We've only done like we wrote the song over the phone together. I went in a studio here. He went in a studio in LA, and then promotions together. He's doing his stuff from his end. I'm doing stuff from my end. So
Sure.
it's like that's just how that you just have to do what you have to do, and that's how we were able to record the song, and it's done very well. I mean, we've got over 100,000 streams, I think, on Spotify, so it's doing well. It's just a matter of just getting it out. But yeah, it's been fun, and I've had a hip hop song that I did with a guy here over 2 years ago that I still cannot get clearance on because we borrowed the beat from um, the group that we borrowed the beat from. They have to give you final permission, which they gave me permission 2 years ago, maybe.
Yeah.
And then we kind of let it sit so long and we were going to remix it that now all those people that gave the permission aren't there anymore. So it's people don't realize that what's involved when you use someone's beat.
Yes,
And we hear
exactly.
stuff all the time. We're like, oh, that's cool. I remember that song.
Yeah.
But like in this case, it's a very well-known song. So we did get clearance, but now I'm waiting for us to possibly just redo that. It's almost easier to redo that little riff that we're using
Right.
instead of lifting it off the master. And it's actually my favorite one I've done, and as
Okay.
far as hip hop goes, but it's not even out yet. And I'm hoping that it'll be out within, like
Cross our
fingers crossed,
fingers.
within the
Yes.
next 6 months. I mean, all it is waiting for one person to just say you're
Yes,
good.
it's okay.
Yeah,
Good.
but it's called Noise, and it's really fun. And like I said, it's been ready to go for a couple years now,
Hmm.
and it's really really fun and catchy. And I know when it gets out, people will respond the way I did when I first heard it, and it's just a fun song. So
Good. Oh,
yeah,
perfect.
yeah,
So, what's next? What you've mentioned a little bit.
yeah.
Writing. You're continuing to write. Continuing recording. What's next for Raquel?
Well, I want to continue. I want to do some more. I've been doing some covers just during the break because it's been
Yeah.
easier and redoing some stuff. And then stuff that I had done videos on, I wanted to actually have the audio for that. So, like a lot of the songs I've done that are on YouTube that are visuals and, and recorded, I wanted them to be able to, like everything I wanted. We did a video for it, a side by side, but I wanted people to be able to download it if they really liked the recording. So that's why I've been delving into some covers lately. Like that's why we did Everything I Wanted just recently. And then Danny's song by Kenny Loggins is one that's
Oh, great
done.
song. Yeah.
Yeah, one of my favorite songs. And I had also done a video to it. So I wanted, the side by side video,
Sure.
well, not side by side, but like a video, a performance video. So I wanted people to be able to download that song, that version.
Hmm.
So that's what I've been doing. And really, covers really aren't my forte, but I do love covers. There's nothing wrong with doing them. I think they're great. But I wanted write more. Like there's a song that I'm finishing up with my guitar player in Nashville, and
Okay.
it's almost done. So that'll be the next one that I release probably in the next couple months. So that's what I want to do. I want to write. My goal is to write, probably three, four, even more songs if I can before Christmas, and release them. You have to kind of space them out,
Yeah.
and just continue to do smaller videos here and there because people are just so visual. Everybody loves videos, even if they're just little small videos nowadays. Like look at TikTok. I mean, those are how many
Yeah.
minute videos? So I want to do more of those, and I don't really know how to do TikTok. I'm going to be really honest. I
I
don't
don't
know.
either.
I don't.
I,
I can barely do a reels. Like I mean, I did reels the other day, and I was like, God, there's so many fun and funny things to do
yes.
on them. I just don't know how to do them yet. So well, I want to learn how to do that, and I that's on my list because that's where the market's going. That's where the promos are going. That's where
Mm,
everybody's using.
yeah.
So I want to use that to a certain degree too, and see if that'll help push the music as well. So that's kind of on my radar. But travel back to Nashville, get out. I'd love to get on tour with somebody and do a mini tour again. I know John Waite's back on the road. Hopefully
Hmm.
that could work out where I can open for him again at
Oh,
some
that'd
point.
be nice. Yeah. I
Yeah.
know you'd had that. Um, do you? How do you mentioned covers aren't your thing, but
Mhm.
how do you pick which cover you want to do?
Um, it's all about a feeling for me. Like I say, they're not my thing, meaning like I write music and I pride myself
Sure.
on being able to write and like I'd love to share that side of me.
Hmm.
So, but there's also something really cool about cover music. Like if something hits me a certain way, like then I want to, like Dreams, for example. I
Yeah.
think it's done very well. Our rendition, I'm so grateful, has done very well with people that have never heard it are like, oh my God, we kept it very close to the original,
Hmm.
but it's still my own voice, my own sound, my own flair, but it's
Yeah.
still a timeless piece, very respectful to Stevie Nicks, her version.
Right.
Because, you don't want to go and change it up completely because it's timeless. And
Yeah.
that's why people like
Exactly.
it. But you want them to hear your version, go, wow, I might like that version better, even. Like, that's a really cool way to, like a sound. So I always pick songs that I love, that I absolutely have to love the song. And it's a song like Danny's song, for example. It's always been just such a cool song, so pretty, so like, but I've had a feeling about, or like I've had a great memory with, or if I get a certain way when I hear it, those are the songs I want to do. Like, then I'm like, oh, I want to do that song because this is how I feel when I hear it. So then I want to
Yeah.
share that. So that's why I picked the songs I have so far to cover up to this point, and that's why there's a couple more still, but I'm like, gosh, okay, I don't want to do another cover, and then I go and do another cover because
Yeah.
they're just so pretty. And it's like, God, I want to do that one on my own and do it my own way. But yeah, so that's kind of how I pick one. But I always try to pick a couple. We were going to do a cover album, like a cover EP with 5 or 6 covers,
Sure.
and throw them all on one. But it's so hard because people are only uploading or downloading, I should say, like their one song they love. They're not really doing EPs or albums. It's really
Right.
hard for people to do that. So they go and they pick the song they like, and so that's better almost to release singles. You know what I mean?
It is, and it's a very different, you know, it the music industry is changing so much, and
Hmm.
it's really hard to do. Now, I'm
Yeah.
still an old guy that I like my physical CD,
Yeah, me too.
and to do that, but I know
Hmm.
that there are, it is a new version of the 45 that,
Yeah.
back in the 50s and the 60s, people
Hmm.
would, buy the 45s. So yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
But it'd be fun to do like a vinyl, like just for fun to have my own vinyl, like, and
yes,
just the artwork and just have it there regardless. And just I always have that for my own sake. Not many people are buying a lot, but those are making a comeback, the little vinyl
they
record
are.
players.
Yeah,
I got my
and
son one for Christmas.
yeah, that sounds great.
Mm.
Well, anything else you want to promote?
No, I mean just if people can go to my YouTube channel and then check out my music videos there, and just the newest video, There's Still Time, that's on there. Yeah, if they can go check that out, that'd be great. And keep an eye out for Everything. The song Everything is a very positive song, and it's another one that I wrote a long time ago, co-wrote with guys out here, Gardner Cole, but we've never promoted it. So some of those
Okay,
songs that are my like sleepers, I call them, because they're good songs. We just didn't do anything with them. I'm like, well, why have we never done anything with them? Now's the time to get them back out. But we're shopping,
absolutely.
we're shopping music in Nashville too as we speak. So a lot of songs I've written, they are being shopped, and knock wood, wherever wood is.
Yes.
Maybe somebody will pick one of those up, and that'll put you on the map as a songwriter, which would be wonderful. You
Yeah,
know?
absolutely. So, absolutely. Spotify, your YouTube channel, I'll include
Mhm.
links on both in the show
Thank
notes.
you. Thank you so much.
It is so good to catch up with you again, and I am
You
so
too.
glad you're doing well.
Thank you. It's nice to talk to you as well, and I'm glad that you stayed busy too, doing what you love, and sharing your stuff with everybody. That it's important. So good for you.
Absolutely. All right. Listeners, you please go get vaccinated. Stay safe. Remember to wear your mask, wash your hands, remember to social distance, and let's please be good to each other because that's the only way we're going to get through this. So
Absolutely.
thank you, Raquel. Thank you,
Thank
listeners,
you.
and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Doing a podcast at times can be a one-way conversation, and I hate that. So please let me know what you like and don't like about the work I'm doing. You can reach the podcast via email at setlistingbruce@gmail.com. The show is on Twitter at setlistingbruce, and my personal Twitter is at jessejacksondfw. We have a website, www.setlistingbruce.com. From there, you can find links to other Springsteen podcasts as well as other music themed podcasts. We have a page devoted to our own SLB All Star Band. These are guests who have been on the podcast more than 3 times. There is a link to our store where you can purchase Set Listing Bruce shirts as well as a Mary Question t shirt. There is a link to our Patreon page where you can sign up to help support the podcast financially. We have different levels and different rewards based on your support. If you don't have any extra cash, and right now, who does? You can support the podcast by subscribing via your favorite podcast player and leaving us a review. The more reviews we have, the easier it is for people to find us. And please tell a friend about the podcast, especially if they love Bruce or music, because it will make a difference.
You just heard the fun talking, hard rocking, music loving, album ranking, fan thinking, joy spreading, lyric reading, story sharing podcast that is the one, the only Set Listing Bruce. Set Listing Bruce is part of the Southgate Media podcast group. The theme for Set Listing Bruce was written by David Rosen, used by permission.